Over the last couple of days, Micka Beauty Shop, which is an indie brand in France, have been drip feeding us with the new shades of their new palette. So they were showing us from left to right as each row went down. And as each shade was being revealed, I was like, what is going on here? These are all like multichromes. I couldn't quite figure out the colour story of it, but this is like an all multichrome duochrome palette, which I actually think is very, very smart because I think that's one of their best formulas, in my opinion, because I do have their Serpent palette and I think it is very, very nice. This is available very, very soon for pre-order for €85. Now, in my opinion, I actually don't think that's the worst price for a 12 pan eyeshadow palette from an indie brand that is multichrome and duochrome. There's definitely a lot more expensive out there, so I'm kind of here for it. I have to say a massive thank you to Makeup On Your Radar. I took the information from them, and by the way, these pictures are all sourced from them. Let's discuss this. And I have to say that Micka Beauty Shop are really, really good at listening to their audience because, as I said, they were drip feeding it one shade at a time, but they put it to their audience to see, do they want to see all of the last 4 shades at the same time? And the audience rather unanimously said, yes, show it to us all in one go. So they did listen, and I'm kind of here for it. Now, this is all going to be made available from February 20th at 12 p.m. CST, and apparently the pre-order is going to be open for a week. I assume that they're keeping quite a small window because this is an indie brand and they're trying to make sure that they don't take on more than they can do, which I think is very, very smart. A lot of brands kind of try to do the greedy route, and I kind of appreciate that. And as I said, it's all multi-chrome shades and they look so beautiful. This is, by the way, like some swatches that were pulled together in a collage by Makeup On Your Radar, which I think are just so beautiful. So some of the descriptions are things like the shade Brilliant is a green gold eyeshadow with a green blue reflect, which is apparently fine to glittery in texture. I mean to say, how dare you? But you can really see it when you kind of take it out of the collage there. Do you see all the little, like, lovely little glitter particles here and how it's going from like this burgundy sort of winey maroon shade to orange? Excuse me? I mean, can you imagine that on like a black smoky eyeshadow and that just tapped out on the lid and just sheared out a little bit? I can't even fathom how beautiful that would look. And this shade, excuse me, what even is this? It's so pretty. I think this is the shade Utopia. It's an icy kind of a pale blue with purple reflex. Again, this is super fine and apparently very pigmented, I have to say. I just think it's gorgeous. Like, is it acceptable to say that I would take a bath in that? Probably not, because you wouldn't get clean, but you'd be very, very sparkly. And this is quite interesting as well. It's the shade Devilish. So it has a black base, but there's also bits of like green glitter and reflex of burgundy, which is very, very interesting. And then when you see it swatched, you can again see those sort of dimensions, which are very, very interesting. I mean, I just think this looks so beautiful. I really want to see that shade Electric Aurora swatched, because that just looks stunning. I have to say, I think this is really beautiful. Is this a standalone palette? No, but it doesn't have to be. This is your special palette that you take out and you swatch at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. It's so pretty. There's obviously a lot of time between now and when they actually launch this as part of their pre-order, so I assume they're going to give us some swatches. Now, I'm a greedy bee, so I want to see swatches without any sort of primer, no sort of base. I want to see swatches then with a white primer because I'm nosy, and with a black primer as well, because some of those are going to have that black base, and I want to see how it's going to shift across that. I think this is genuinely very interesting. The price is not bad at all. Like, when you think about it, for instance, Danessa Myricks had her Lightworks palette, which was €125, and that had, I think it was like 16 to 18 shades. And that was not a bad price either. And that's a much bigger company. And that was averaging at about €7 per shade. And this is doing the same thing. So for a smaller indie brand to do that, I think it's pretty darn good. And I love that obviously you can move this around as well. So you could kind of curate the colour story to go the way that you wanted it to. Because I would probably change around a couple of these to have, like, say, maybe Electric Aurora hang out with Utopia and Dazzling and Hypnotising. And then maybe put Divinity, Devilish and Cherries together. That's just the way that I would do it, and then probably put brilliant and labyrinth together. I have to say, I think this is really cute. I might have slightly talked myself into this. I don't need it. Tracy, you don't need it. But it does look really pretty. Let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in this, or are you just like, Personally, I think they've done really, really well with this. And great to see a brand actually listening to their audience.